All right, so what I've got, I've taken my jig, got it up here, got it in the right place, drilled out all my holes, put my dowels in there so my jig didn't move, drilled out all the holes, got it aligned. I've got a bulkhead, I've got a pencil mark here, bulkhead there, bulkhead here. So I moved it, it off centers the original portal just a bit. I've moved it over just a bit. What I've got to do now is obviously take that out. And I've got a counterbore. What I'm basically doing is I've got this jig right here. These little tabs that set up on the jig. These little tabs that set up on the jib, the depth of those is the depth that the backing plate, the plate right here, has a little, these counterbores on them also. So I need to go 3/8 of an inch deep on that also. So what I've got is a counterbore, and I've got a little piece of tape on it to mark it the depth I need. This just goes in the hole, lines it up correctly, and what I'm going to do before I do that is kind of loosen out those holes a little bit. Just clean them up, make sure there's no debris, stuff like that inside. Otherwise this will bind. If it binds, it breaks the tip. So what we do here, we move this out of the way. And you want to make sure you go in real slow, backing out constantly to get all the debris out of the way. All right. For those of you who have room for animals, you can see my little electric fence here. I've got sheep in it now. This area had 2 hogs in it for 3 days. We're prepping it because we're going to put a garden in here. It looked like this 3 days ago. The sheep are just cleaning off the rest of the grass, and then I'll do a light rototill on it. But the hogs have gone through. What they've done is they've tilled the ground, the surface of the ground, which is good and bad. It's good for me because they take out the majority of root grass like Johnson grass, crabgrass, anything that's rooty. The wild garlic that grows in this part of the country, wild onions, they pull all the tubers out of the ground and they eat those. So it really works out well for me because I get free rototill service. So like I said, what I'll do is I'll take this fence down here in a couple of days or open it up. I'll till it up, just the surface of it, let the sheep back in, finish up the rest of the grass on top, do a clean rake in it, put in some rows, and they've done the majority of the work for me. It beats having to come in and till and just, you know, do it over and over again. When you've got the availability to have a couple of livestock, and for those of you who eat pork, you know, there's a side benefit to that too, because you know your pork is grass fed and root fed. So anyway, little note on the side. Hey there, Ron here, working on my 71 Alberg 30 sailboat. Just putting in port lights, doing some other things. Bought me a new camera, a little Canon M50. Trying to take a little bit better close-ups. I tried doing some stuff with my GoPro, like taking apart a winch and working on it, servicing winches and stuff like that, and just can't zoom in close enough. So I figured, why not? I'll get another camera, try and take a little bit better pictures, and go in a little different route. I'll try and do better how-tos without talking through them. Just sit and talk, or put footnotes in about what I'm doing, so you can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and then I'll sit and talk off to the side more than I have been. Trying to make a little bit so you can actually see what's going on instead of having a wide-angle view of everything. So, alrighty then.